So Dillian Whyte has called Deontay Wilder a coward, and he said he rejected me for old inactive Ortiz. I don't agree with this at all. First of all, I think Dillian Whyte is not more of a threat than Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, in my opinion, he's older than Dillian Whyte, but he's more experienced than Dillian Whyte, and I think he's a better fighter than Dillian Whyte. So I don't think that would be a downgrade. So he's basically saying like it would be a downgrade for him to face someone like Luis Ortiz than him. I don't agree with that. I think Luis Ortiz is a better fighter. Right? A. B. He says he avoided him for inactive Luis Ortiz. Dillian Whyte hasn't been active himself. He fought one bum in the past, 9 months? The last time he fought was last month in August against Malcolm Tan, and prior to that, he hadn't fought since like December of 2016 against Derek Chisora, and that was like a life and death struggle for him. So he's talking about Luis Ortiz being inactive, but he's been inactive himself. It's not like he's been fighting 5 times a year. And again, like I said, I believe that Luis Ortiz is a better fighter than someone like Dillian Whyte, and that's the fight all of us were demanding. Obviously, a lot of us were demanding Deontay Wilder versus what's his name? I mean, a lot of us wanted to see Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte, but let's be real. Most hardcore boxing fans will rather see Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz because we think that's a more riskier fight for Deontay Wilder, and all of us were just pressuring Deontay Wilder to face Luis Ortiz because he's been a guy who's been cherry picking his whole career, so that's why we really wanted to see him against Luis Ortiz. So I don't agree with Dillian Whyte when it comes to this. I think Luis Ortiz is a far more credible victory for Dillian Whyte. Let's just put it this way. If Wilder were to face Dillian Whyte and beat him, I'll give him credit, but not that much credit. But if Wilder were to face Luis Ortiz and beat him, I'll give him more credit. I'll give him credit. More credit. Than I would give him versus Dillian Whyte. You know, some people might say, well, Luis Ortiz hasn't fought anyone. Well, yeah, who has Dillian Whyte fought? He fought one elite guy, Anthony Joshua, and he got the crap beat out of him. He got the dog shit beat out of him, and he got brutally knocked out. And then he went into a life and death struggle with someone like Derek Chisora, who was over the hill. Luis Ortiz destroyed Brian Jennings, who you could say is the same level as someone like Dillian Whyte. So, and in my opinion, I think he's more skillful. He got more tools in the bank, so I just think he's a more credible friend. So I don't agree with Dillian Whyte when it comes to this. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing the fight. The only reason I wouldn't mind seeing this fight, Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder, is if Deontay Wilder doesn't get the Luis Ortiz fight because he doesn't fight guys who take drugs. That's the only way I would be happy to see this fight. But if Deontay Wilder still goes through with fighting Luis Ortiz, then fuck watching him face Dillian Whyte right now. I would rather see him fight Luis Ortiz. Then maybe next year, if he doesn't get the Joshua unification fight, then yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him face Dillian Whyte. That's all I have to say, guys. McGregor, I'm out. Let me know what you guys think at the bottom of the video. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.